We often speak passionately about pollution, sustainability, environmental friendly approaches, protecting environment. But how many of us are actually taking that extra step to do something about it? Mr. Prashad, coming from a completely different background, dared to take that bold step, transforming his vision into reality with the foundation of PBP Eco Aqua. This morning, in the cozy winter ambience of the Imperial Hotel Janpat, we have the pleasure of sitting down with the visionary himself, Mr. Prashad, founder and owner of PBP Eco Aqua, to talk about his dreams, challenges, and changing the world one drop at a time.
I have nothing to do as profession with water, with hospitality. I was a hardcore office automation guy. And like they say that your calling happens and everything which is destined to happen has a certain process that it takes you through. So there was a company that I was consulting which had certain things for hospitality, and I was very well connected with the hospitality vertical because of the business that I used to give them. So when I was talking to them about, microbrewery, this, that and all that, they said, Prasad, there is a challenge that the hotel industries have. There's 5 million bottles of plastic which is getting generated and which eventually finds its space into the ocean. And we are not having any cost because, sustainability is a very nice thing, but unless it becomes commercially viable, it's not worn. So it has to have that commercial viability. So they had this challenge. They didn't have technology to help them to overcome this challenge to remove the plastic to glass. The reason being that plastic was always given free to the guest. So when you came and had water in your room or in your banquet function, you didn't pay for it. It was built into a cost. And that cost was X. If you had to make it glass, it would have been 10X. Okay. So they were not able to take that call. That's the time when this thought process happened that this is an area that we have to get into. So I sat with some people, designed a solution. I said, when something can be made for 100, why it can't be made for 1? We have to just shrink it. Okay, we have to just shrink it. So we took that thought process. We said to the hotel that if we bring it solution within your premises, will it work or not? They said definitely, because the largest cost factor was the glass bottle. So if that could be recycled 200, 300 times, then the scale will give you the required ROI. So this thought process, which initially was with some kind of thing, will it work or not? Because it had never happened. And when it got received and we went to FSSAI, I got the notification. He said this is definitely the future for sustainable water solutions, mainly to hospitality, because they are the largest consumers of the plastic. And then for various other, so we are now going into corporates, hospitals and things like that. So the thought came when this challenge was told to me by a hotelier. So it was not something which I was, sitting reading a paper one fine morning and said I should jump into this, because I had no idea about this. But once I got into it, then I got into it 100%. So we are experts now in this domain. So this is how the journey started as such. In car. Now, if giving an analogy, that if you need to now have a car which will be for 100,000 rupees, and it doesn't has the whole infrastructure of a Toyota or a Suzuki, it's a challenge in a thought process. So this is an industrial equipment which is being used by Aquafina, Bisleris, Himalaya, Ava to produce large-scale bottles for them to trade across, B2B or B2C. And that technology, we have to shrink it down to be able to bring it to this cost. That's how it becomes cost effective. And second is to be able to ensure that it delivers the end product exactly the same way as conceived and as required by a consumer when he drinks the water. So this challenge is something that we need to put on the drawing board and basically achieved it. And for it to run sustainably or for it to run without any issues, the conscious decision that I took, and that's the reason we are a reliable vendor, is that I said, we will run this ourselves for you. Even if we buy it, we'll run it, and that's where we have a large investment on training of people to be able to ensure that it runs, because there are elements are many, the variable elements are many. So the 2-3 things that we did was we said, if it can work for 10, why cannot it work for 1? And second is, if we shrink it down, the challenges of operating, maintaining is something that we will not leave it onto the hotels. We will ourselves get into it. And that has worked well. On-field hotels. So, an hotel like this, the last thing that they will be able to give me is this bigger space. So our biggest challenge in being able to operate within, so you are the owner, you say, I don't mind spending 4 million, you go ahead, but where's the space?
True.
So we used to cut the space out of a parking lot, or we used to cut a space out of a large, invariably the laundry space used to be a large space. We'll cut out of that. So that was one challenge. Second challenge was they were not used to transporting glass bottles, the housekeeping. So that was the second challenge which they were working. And third and the most important challenge is ensuring consistency and quality of what is being given, because the profile of the guest, irrespective to luxury or non-luxury hotel, is something that you cannot tamper with in terms of water that you're giving to them. And you have to ensure that it's free of any contamination, either in the container or in the order. So that's the third challenge. So these are the 3 things that we preempted and we worked ourselves. So we are not a company who are selling and running away. We are a company which is ensuring that the guy who bought from me 3 years ago today calls me and buys again from me saying for another 5 hotels. So we are empaneled vendors with all the big brands.
So if I'm not wrong, you were the, in terms of market share, you were the second in India right now.
Yeah.
So also you are also planning out, reaching out to the outside international markets.
Yes.
So when it comes to say, for example, Middle East and Southeast Asia, the norms and regulations are different in everywhere for different aspects like this.
Yeah.
So how you are adapting or taking these challenges up?
So will you believe that the norms that we have in India is far stricter on water than what it is in Middle East? Okay, I was surprised because when we just started the Middle East market. So if you want to do business of water in India, the process will take you 9 months minimum. First is to get clearance that can you tap water from here or not. That's the first thing. Second is then you have BIS, FSSAI and various licenses that you have to take. And these are processes which takes you for several months. And that whole thing is something which you are required to do every time you want to do this business. In Middle East, you don't need any of the license. If you want to sell water, you just get your water tested, get it approved, and you start business. Okay. So it's as simple as that. However, the difference comes. Here, you may have 50% of the operators not following the norm and still happily doing it. There, if you, that water compliance, if you miss, you are gone. You don't exist. So the norms are simpler there, but the way it is implemented, the way it is monitored is very, very everyday. So there isn't any problem.
Understand the importance of this particular thing, or it is only the cost factor that is coming?
No, बहुत difficult है Nirman. Reason being that a bit, but the owners are unique, different, and not very easy to sit with them. But you may be able to help. If they read something, that's where I was talking, Mr. Danton, this, when they read these kind of things in publications, that they will understand that there is a certain amount of responsibility with which sustainability has to be put in.
True.
It can't be done to tick a box. Very pertinent and important question, Anirban. And why I say it is, till a such time you do it because you want to do it, the challenges will remain. But if you do it just because Divya wants it to do it, or because someone else, then so we are more focused on people who want to do it, because if you want to do it, then there are certain ways that you have to do it. It's not just, so all those challenges that I told to you about are real. And the hotel owners should understand that when I deploy a solution, it will ensure that we meet all these challenges. So where we come to a wall is, they say, he is giving it to me for X and you are X plus 40%. And I don't think we want to spend that X plus 40%. And the problem is that in that X, there isn't any defined history. See, theory to मैं कुछ भी लिख के आपको दे दूँ. Defined history of them meeting all those challenges. So if I had not walked away from such businesses, I would have had at least 250 installations today. So we have walked out because there is a certain cost with which I run this operation, and I don't do it charitably. I need the margins. Beyond that, we don't do it, because if I do, then instead of an X kind of a person, I'll have to bring someone who's just got up today morning and say, go and work. So if I have to pay a salary of X minus 30%, I will not pay that. So there are a lot of things that happen, because my industry is a manpower driven. So we do a lot of good work on that area. It's a separate discussion that we will have, what we are doing, how we are, 200 lives that we are feeding, where of prospective hospitality clients who can have this and what has having. I don't think 15 to 20% has been addressed. So there is still a huge market existing, and this industry is growing 14 to 15%, which is a huge growth that the sector is seeing. So within the country, I have lots to do. But then this being something which is not after 5 years going to be somewhere else, so we need to be present elsewhere, is when we started looking out. So Africa, we have already got a place. This month, a machine will be going to Kenya, in Nairobi and Masai Mara, with a very large chain, very similar to what IHCL is to India, is Sarowa to, not Sarovar, it's Sarowa. Okay, the SROVA are the initials of the wives of the owners of that chain there. So they have about 10 to 12 properties. So the 2 properties they're taking, and we have got persons. So that was our advent into the African market. We have signed up with a local company in UAE called Pio Hydro, and we are launching there from January onwards. Colombo, we are already present, but the market is very tiny there. And we are also looking this year to go into Philippines, go into Vietnam, and go into Thailand. Okay. Malaysia, we have not put in this thing. But why all these segments? Because they're very similar to way India does business, providing a lot of services with cost attached to it. Singapore is out because Singapore doesn't bother. It is giving you bottle, you fill your water and all these things. So Singapore, I've gone and seen, it's not somewhere where we will be able to do the business. So if you see next 10 years, but apart from this, we're also innovating. We're bringing in dispensers to address the banquets, because we are also understanding challenge. There are many challenges. So we'll need more time to, deep dive and tell you what are the other challenges. So if you take plastic and change it to glass bottles for banquets, it's becoming difficult for it to be handled. So we're looking at doing an, dispenser very well, made with an UV outlet, which will then give you glass cups, paper cups, which you can use there. So those innovations we are doing to be able to reach out. We're also going into corporates. Just Murugappa Group is getting installed this month. So we're going to all the large places which has more than 1,000 people sitting where they're buying plastic. So there's lots actually. It's how fast we can run is how much we can cover. And we don't really, we welcome competition because they're also helping create awareness. So we don't really have that much to say about competition. And apart from creating awareness, they're also creating more market for us because the way they leave the clients, so it's a game of patience and passion, with which that's the reason PBP is also passion, belief and balance and precision. So that's how we take the journey forward.
Thank you so very much for talking to us, and I should thank you again for coming up with such an innovative concept and a product, and congratulations for your milestones, many to achieve.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.